Have you ever scrolled through Tubi thinking you've already seen everything worth watching, only to stumble upon something that makes your jaw drop? This December, Tubi pulled off something remarkable, without making a single announcement. They quietly slipped 15 classic movies into their library, films that have been lost to time, trapped in legal nightmares, or simply impossible to track down in watchable quality. We're talking about cinematic gems that vanished because of devastating rights battles. The first film on this list practically rewrites everything you thought you knew about clever thrillers. Imagine discovering that someone plans to rob your workplace, but instead of panicking or calling the police, you decide to outsmart them and steal from the thief himself. That's the jaw-dropping premise of The Silent Partner, and it transforms what could have been a straightforward heist movie into something unforgettable. Elliot Gould plays a quiet bank teller who notices a customer casing his branch during the chaotic holiday rush. Does he alert security? Absolutely not. He flips the entire situation in a way that'll leave you stunned, turning a simple setup into an intense psychological chess match where every move could be fatal. But here's where Christopher Plummer becomes absolutely terrifying. His performance as the thief ranks among the most chilling work of his entire legendary career. He doesn't need to scream or threaten loudly. Instead, he delivers every line with this calm, measured tone that hides something far more dangerous underneath. Every scene between Gould and Plummer crackles with tension, just two men locked in a silent duel of stares, pauses, and decisions that could destroy either one at any moment. What makes this thriller so special? It balances nail-biting suspense with unexpected humor in ways very few films from this era even attempted. For years, this masterpiece completely vanished from mainstream platforms. Rights issues and damaged prints made it nearly impossible for even dedicated collectors to find a clean copy. Seeing it resurface feels like a genuine victory for anyone who loves intelligent storytelling. Elaine May crafted something so raw and unfiltered that studios didn't know how to handle it, and the result nearly destroyed her career while creating an underground masterpiece. Mikey and Nikki isn't just another friendship story. It's a brutally honest look at one chaotic night shared between two men who desperately trust each other while simultaneously fearing what the other might do. John Cassavetes plays Nikki, a panicked man convinced danger is closing in fast, while Peter Falk delivers a heartbreaking performance as Mikey, the lifelong friend who arrives to help even though his true motives remain disturbingly unclear. But here's the scandalous twist that changed everything. May shot this film using techniques that were absolutely revolutionary for 1976. She insisted on long, unbroken takes that let scenes breathe naturally, encouraged heavy improvisation between two actors who knew each other intimately, and used natural lighting to capture genuine emotional breakdowns as they happened. The result feels shockingly documentary-like, as if you're witnessing real people unravel rather than watching scripted characters perform. Their conversations wander aimlessly, circle back without warning, then explode into devastating confrontations that feel painfully authentic. Why did this visionary approach cause such chaos? The studio battled May relentlessly over budget overruns, missed schedules, and her uncompromising editing process. The film barely received any attention during its initial release, leaving it to be rediscovered decades later by directors and actors who recognized its fearless brilliance. For years, finding clean versions proved nearly impossible. Charley Varrick moves with surgical precision and dark humor that keeps you guessing every single second. Directed by Don Siegel, the mastermind behind Dirty Harry and Escape from Alcatraz, this crime thriller showcases Walter Matthau in a role that shatters everything you expect from him. Forget the comedies he's famous for. Here, Matthau plays a small-time pilot who pulls off what seems like an easy robbery, only to realize he accidentally targeted the absolute wrong people. From that devastating moment forward, every decision becomes a matter of life or death. Charley stays one calculated step ahead, but the cost keeps rising. Joe Don Baker appears as one of the most relentless pursuers ever captured on film, treating the hunt like a personal vendetta that consumes him completely. Why did this masterpiece live in shadows for decades, while inferior crime movies got endless attention? Now flip to something entirely different. The King of Marvin Gardens feels like a slow-motion dream collapsing into tragedy. Bob Rafelson pairs Jack Nicholson and Bruce Dern as brothers who couldn't be more opposite if they tried. Nicholson plays a melancholic radio storyteller drifting through life with quiet resignation, while Dern bursts with manic energy, convinced he's standing on the edge of a business deal that'll change everything. Set in a freezing, abandoned Atlantic city, the film uses empty boardwalks and dim lights to create an atmosphere that's genuinely haunting. But the real heartbreak was still coming. A young fugitive accidentally wanders onto a movie set, and within hours, he's thrust into a world where reality and illusion blur so completely that he can't tell what's real anymore. The stuntman takes this wild premise and transforms it into something absolutely mesmerizing. Directed by Richard Rush, this film follows our confused protagonist as he becomes a stunt performer under the guidance of a charismatic but deeply unpredictable director played by Peter O'Toole. What unfolds next is a dizzying blend of comedy, drama, and surreal moments that'll leave you questioning everything you're watching. But here's where O'Toole delivers pure magic. His performance exploded with such bold energy and captivating presence that it earned him an Academy Award nomination, and honestly, he deserved to win. He plays the director as a creative tornado, someone who can inspire absolute genius one moment, then stir complete confusion the next. The production scenes feel intentionally chaotic, perfectly capturing how demanding and unpredictable filmmaking truly becomes when artistic vision collides with human limitations. While the story entertains brilliantly, it also explores something deeper and more unsettling. How do people hide behind roles when they're terrified of being truly seen? What happens when performance becomes protection? The stuntman struggled with devastating distribution problems and sat forgotten on shelves for years before finally getting a proper release. Even after launching, viewers found it maddeningly difficult to access because prints remained severely limited. Critics eventually re-examined this overlooked gem and realized just how inventive and daring it actually was. But nothing prepared audiences for the legendary chaos coming next. Some movies don't just earn legendary status through storytelling alone. They carve their names into history through sheer, unbelievable chaos behind the scenes. Sorcerer practically defines that concept. Directed by William Friedkin, the visionary behind The French Connection, this film follows four desperate men who accept a suicide mission deep in the unforgiving jungle. Their job sounds deceptively simple on paper: transport extremely unstable explosives across brutal terrain. But in reality, every single mile becomes a test of nerve, willpower, and pure survival instinct that'll leave you breathless. Nothing about this production felt safe or controlled. Friedkin refused to fake anything, insisting on shooting in genuinely dangerous environments that put everyone at risk. Rivers rose without warning, threatening to sweep away entire crews. Bridges shook violently in unpredictable winds. Mud roads swallowed trucks completely, trapping equipment worth thousands of dollars. The cast and crew endured conditions so intense that some nearly quit multiple times. You can feel that overwhelming pressure radiating from every single frame. The famous rope bridge sequence remains so nerve-shattering that film enthusiasts still obsess over it almost 50 years later. It's not flashy or overproduced, just pure, honest tension filmed with absolute commitment to realism. But here's the heartbreaking tragedy that destroyed this masterpiece initially. When Sorcerer premiered, it opened the exact same year as Star Wars. Audiences weren't remotely interested in a gritty, slow-burning survival tale when they could watch lightsabers and space battles instead. The film vanished almost overnight, and the next psychological thriller gets even more disturbing. A middle-aged man feels so trapped in his ordinary life that when a mysterious organization offers him a chance at complete reinvention, a new face, a new name, an entirely new existence, he jumps at the opportunity without hesitation. Seconds takes that premise and twists it into something that'll haunt you for days. Directed by John Frankenheimer, this eerie psychological drama stars Rock Hudson in the strongest, most vulnerable performance of his entire career. He steps completely away from his typical leading man roles to play someone who discovers that reinvention carries a devastating price nobody warned him about. What happens when you get everything you thought you wanted but realize you've lost something irreplaceable in the process? Frankenheimer's visual style feels genuinely disturbing. He uses distorted lenses, suffocatingly tight close-ups, and dreamlike camera movements that place viewers directly inside the character's spiraling confusion. The atmosphere stays cold, clinical, and quietly oppressive, building unbearable tension without a single loud moment. When it premiered, audiences were absolutely baffled. The ideas felt too bold, the tone too bleak, the visual experimentation too far ahead of its time. Now switch gears to something equally devastating but completely different. Night Moves stars Gene Hackman as a private investigator who can solve elaborate puzzles for desperate clients, but struggles to understand his own crumbling life. Directed by Arthur Penn, this deliberately ambiguous thriller unfolds with slow, methodical tension, where clues lead to more clues, but clear answers never materialize. The Florida coast becomes a character itself, filled with deceptively calm spaces hiding deeper troubles, but the emotional devastation was just beginning. Some films feel manufactured and polished, but The Pawnbroker was carved directly from painful human experience, and you feel that authenticity in every single frame. Directed by Sidney Lumet, this devastating drama follows a quiet New York shop owner who carries emotional wounds so deep that he refuses to acknowledge they even exist. Rod Steiger delivers a performance filled with haunting stillness, incredible restraint, and layers of suppressed pain that'll absolutely shatter you. Instead of dramatic speeches or obvious breakdowns, the power radiates from quiet moments where you sense everything he's desperately holding back, all the memories he's trying to bury. What tragedy could damage someone so completely that they shut down emotionally? Lumet uses tight close-ups and rhythmic editing to drag viewers directly inside this man's fractured inner world. The city around him pulses with noise and constant activity, but he remains completely closed off, moving through each day on pure autopilot as if genuine human connection terrifies him. The supporting cast adds heartbreaking warmth and mounting frustration, showing how people keep trying to reach him without understanding why he maintains such impenetrable distance. The film's structure brilliantly emphasizes how past grief shapes every present choice, how trauma doesn't just fade but echoes through years of carefully constructed walls. When it premiered, The Pawnbroker earned celebration for its bold storytelling and unflinching emotional honesty. But here's the baffling mystery nobody expected. Over time, this acclaimed masterpiece became shockingly difficult to access. Limited releases, severely damaged copies, and scattered international rights kept it hidden from public view for decades. If you want a crime drama that feels like watching actual events unfold rather than scripted scenes, The Friends of Eddie Coyle delivers that authenticity with masterful skill. Directed by Peter Yates, this film stars Robert Mitchum in one of his most grounded, heartbreaking roles ever captured on screen. He plays Eddie, a worn-down man trying desperately to survive in a world where every single choice feels like walls closing in tighter. Mitchum doesn't portray Eddie as some legendary criminal or street-smart survivor. Instead, he's just a tired, aging man who wants nothing more than peaceful existence, but can't escape the only life he's ever known. How does someone break free when every path forward leads straight back to the same dead ends? The movie unfolds in Boston's grittiest locations, and nothing feels polished or glamorized for cinematic effect. These are actual diners, empty parking lots, and cramped backrooms where small decisions carry devastating consequences that ripple outward unpredictably. Yates shoots the city with unflinching honesty, letting the cold, unforgiving atmosphere become an essential part of the storytelling itself. The supporting cast brings incredible depth, making this world feel genuinely lived in and dangerous rather than movie-set artificial. During the 70s, most crime films prioritized explosive action sequences and stylish cinematography over substance. This one took a completely different approach, focusing intensely on people, their impossible choices, and the crushing weight of responsibility. Critics recognized its authenticity immediately, but mainstream audiences never gave it the attention it desperately deserved. Years disappeared, and the movie became a collector's obsession. You don't often witness two of cinema's biggest legends colliding in a strange, unpredictable western that defies every single convention, but The Missouri Breaks makes that collision absolutely unforgettable. Directed by Arthur Penn, this film features Jack Nicholson as a cunning horse thief and Marlon Brando as an eccentric, deeply unpredictable regulator hired specifically to hunt him down and stop him permanently. Their dynamic crackles with tension, humor, and moments so hypnotic you can't look away even for a second. Every scene feels like watching a creative duel between two performers who understood exactly how to take dangerous risks and make them pay off spectacularly. The Western landscape becomes more than just background scenery here. Those wide, endless fields, dusty winding paths, and quiet rolling hills create this overwhelming sense of vastness where literally anything could happen without warning. Nicholson brings his signature sharp energy, moving through scenes with calculated precision and barely contained intensity. Meanwhile, Brando wanders through moments with calm unpredictability, injecting unexpected humor and genuine weight in equal measure. His performance choices became absolutely legendary, ranging from gentle whispers that draw you closer to surprising bursts of startling intensity that shake everything loose. Why did audiences struggle to embrace this bold vision initially? When it premiered, viewers felt genuinely confused by its unusual tone. It wasn't a classic shoot-'em-up western, it wasn't pure drama either. The film existed in this unique space completely its own, refusing to fit comfortable categories. Over decades, this once misunderstood masterpiece developed passionate following. And there you have it, 15 rare classics that Tubi slipped into their massive library without a single press release or promotional fanfare. Each one carries decades of fascinating history, tangled mystery, and long-lost charm that mainstream platforms completely ignored for generations. These aren't just forgotten movies collecting digital dust. They're genuine cinematic treasures that remind us discovery still exists even when we're drowning in endless scrolling and algorithm-fed recommendations. Think about what you just heard. Films that vanished for 40 years because of devastating legal battles. Masterpieces buried by bad timing or studio interference. Performances so bold they terrified audiences who weren't ready for that level of artistic risk. Directors who sacrificed everything to capture authentic moments that conventional filmmaking wouldn't dare attempt. Every single one of these stories proves that great art doesn't always win immediately. Sometimes it takes decades for the world to catch up and recognize brilliance that was hiding in plain sight all along. So which hidden treasure caught your attention first? Are you rushing to watch Christopher Plummer's chilling performance in The Silent Partner, or does Marlon Brando's unpredictable energy in The Missouri Breaks sound more irresistible? Maybe you're curious about those dangerous rope bridge sequences in Sorcerer that still terrify viewers 50 years later. Drop a comment below telling us which film you're watching first and why it grabbed you. Hit that like button if you discovered something completely new today. Share this video with friends, family members, or fellow film enthusiasts who appreciate rare cinematic gems that deserve recognition after hiding in shadows far too long.